Thank God it's Friday. Hey, I'm Eric. I'm making a game. That game is called The Godkiller. And it's Friday evening. My weekend is kicking off, and my hair looks fantastic. And I'm having coffee in the evening, which is a bit of a luxury. I only do it on Friday night, maybe a Saturday night, not a Sunday night. It'll keep me up late. But right now, I don't mind a little boost. That's some good Swedish coffee. All right. So, let me show you what I did yesterday. Okay, I'm working on... This is going to be really annoying. I'm just realizing how annoying this is going to be. Okay, I'm working on a tool for face animation that goes into the game. There's a lot done in the game, but I just moved over a different project. The annoying part is going to be here and there people asking me about the game and show me the game, and I'll be like, nah, I'm working on the tool right now, which looks nothing like the game. And I decided I'll have it separate from the game project. Got my reasons. Essentially, I want to be able to have someone able to use this tool besides me and not have to give them all the game source and full distribution of the game. I made some other decisions too, but let me show you what I did. Okay, so I made some code that when you type in a word in text, like thanks for the stream. If I misspelled, it won't work, but there we go. Which is me just copying a text from the chat window from last night. What it does underneath is put the phonetic spelling of that English text that I just typed in. And these symbols, they're called alphabet. Cicada, you're going to be upset with me. You're going to be upset with me. You will. I'm already bracing for it. I don't want to do the timeline. The explanation is lengthy. Anyways, but I'll finish demoing this a little bit here. Okay, so this is called alphabet. It's a phonetic representation. So whatever I type in here, it puts in the phonetic representation underneath. Okay. So the principal thing I need to do with this face tool authoring is simply define the spacing between these phonemes such that they align with audio. Okay, so I don't have the audio clip playing in this version of the face tool. I had this all working on different thing. But then you just kind of go in between this and you're moving your cursor around. Wherever you go, that is the timeline. Wherever your cursor is, it's like you are clicking a position in the timeline. And the only thing you have to do is just get the spacing right between the phonemes. I think so, yeah, unless something breaks down. There was one thing I found that did break down yesterday, so I think I'm going to have to do it at playtime instead of edit time. Potentially, yeah. Okay, I'll look into it. All right. So then, as you go through here and you move the position of the cursor, it plays just a tiny bit of the sample at the corresponding location in the wave. So we'll load the wave into a buffer of samples and we'll play back individual clips at each point where you're at. The spacing on each of these is 24 frames per second, which with my experimentation is sort of the lowest number to have and still have good authoring granularity. Now the playback of the face, that's a totally different thing. But as far as just being able to have meaningful distinctions between this amount of space in between a phoneme and the corresponding biseme, and this one, just 1/24th of a second is a good amount to use. You do more, you can get more precise, but it also increases the authoring time. So you just go through, and I'll take out these hyphens so I don't have to delete them manually, but and you hear, like, it's kind of annoying. It'll be like, as you move around, it'll be you start hearing a, and then you go into the next one, it's sometimes you realize there's too many consonants close together, so you just delete a phoneme, because that'll produce better lip sync animation. And it's like possibly that's the thing that I want to verify in this. I think you are right if I use this inside of an editor window. So I've got like some code that I copied. Yeah, but it's important for me to be able to detect the position of the caret. If there's no change, though, I'm not worried about being able to detect the change, because I can get key down events, so the arrow keys. I am worried about getting the caret position. I have found some code. Apparently it will work at playtime, but not edit time. Maybe. I've got this code that should work. So if I go to this guy here, okay. So the explanation I have of why this doesn't work, this get state object call, is that when you're in the edit time instead of play time, it's going to return this thing called recycled text editor, which isn't the actual instance of the control. But if it works at playtime, then I've got like position, some other, not position, but I think it's, what's it? Index, where is that? Cursor index. So that was the thing I was going to check on this session. The thing I'm slightly proud of is I wrote this phonetic thing pretty much from scratch. So I've got like this Carnegie Mellon University Dictionary, where it's got for any word in the English language, it's got the phonetic representation of it. And I wrote a little bit of code that parses this file and puts it in a dictionary, and then if you pass some English text to this guy here, it'll put it all together. Yeah, I was happy because first I was going to try to port this library called Rita, which has served me well in the past, into C# from JavaScript, and then it was just like all sweater threads. What is text editor? Text editor is it seems to be like some kind of under the hood class. Yeah, Unity class for I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but it seems to be about getting the internal state of UI objects, basically. So it was more intended, this get state object and maybe the text editor, to be used for custom control development, but it should work with built-in objects as well. Yeah, at least according to the documentation, get state object, they said just use it if you're doing custom control development, but it seems to maybe work also for these other purposes. As you say, though, suppose that breaks down, I can make my own kind of text mesh pro based thing, control the position of stuff inside of it myself, and yeah, you're right. That might be a good backup way. so then, like, okay, so here's the thing that I get a little bit excited about. That's cool. Yeah. As soon as I have the mapping between phoneme and this here, the rest of the events, they're just pretty simple for me to add in. Like, for the most part, if I have a attention target or emotion event, I can mostly put it at the beginning of the line. There will be some cases where I might want to put it in the middle, but a full timeline's kind of overkill for that. So I can do things like, I can say inside of the text, I can put like a 1 here, and then I can say in the call to the function that is going to say the line that 0.1 inside of there means this is where an emotion would be set. So it's a little bit programmery, but I can see it working kind of fast. And I think if I was doing full, like a little more ambitious animation with other things happening, I'd be more inclined to have the full timeline solution. The other thing is, I want this tool to be something that I can give to somebody without giving them instructions to set up everything inside of a Unity environment. Maybe. So there's things like this. You say, if the sentence is a little bit longer, like I have one thing to say, now let's see, be careful of spiders. Yeah. It was doing a dictionary lookup. So if I didn't want to split this into 2 lines, then there might be like reactions to different parts of the line there. Thought about that too. I just don't know if it would give me much of an advantage. And the thing you just mentioned actually points me towards not using timelines, because I already need to split up the lines so that they're subtitle friendly. A line like this, which might benefit from animation events midway through, I'm probably going to break up into 2 lines. You know, spiders would be its own line. And since that's the case, since I have all this code that controls interactive dialogue, I could simply say what thing should happen at the beginning of the line being spoken, or perhaps the end. So as soon as somebody says spiders, I could have 3 characters signaled to be afraid, you know, in response to that statement being said. So it amounts to, I don't think by the time I finish this one particular task that I'll have any heavy-duty authoring to do. So a kind of a rinky-dink authoring environment is probably the way to go. But in this session, I want to see if I can get the caret position in here, and I have to implement this as a playtime window instead of editor time. Okay, let me see. Let's get rid of some of this junk code, or at least I don't want that going right there. Okay. but I mean, I've already got like a list of events and a iterator class that goes over it. They're just not timeline events. Yeah, I'm gonna be very stubborn about this because I spent about a year putting together this thing that worked very well for me. And I may be the only one that thinks it works well before it's all over. Wait a minute. Well, let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You type English, it puts the phonemes as clips into the timeline. Then you go in and tweak. And this is probably where the difference of opinion comes in. Even though timelines, the UI for a timeline is a good general purpose UI, I don't think it's fast for this particular task compared to the putting spaces in between the phonemes thing. It's more approachable to see a timeline. It's more easy to understand how it's going to work. But this thing where you just kind of move the cursor around with just arrow keys and you hit spacebar to add space, it's super fast compared to dragging around and scrubbing and everything. Yeah. I know. I disagree. I disagree based on my experiments I've done. Let's see. Windows. Package Manager. Where's my Text Mesh Pro? What is the thing? It's okay. I guess this is fine. Well, I don't know, and I did like the test between my tool and the professional animator, who was using a nice tool that she was very familiar with. My stuff was done a quarter of the time. I mean, also the philosophy of my tool is just sort of like it'll limit you to just the bare essentials. Okay, I see. So you're saying something between the two. Okay. Okay, but so you get the phonemes there, okay? And you got your timeline, and you're moving the events around. I understand that part. It's just that, like, if you've got the cursor and it's limited to just like left arrow, right arrow, press the space bar to, or backspace to add, delete, space. The equivalents of those things in the timeline editor, they're all like 2 to 4 clicks for each of those things. And there's dragging too. You can drag. Okay, but you don't hear scrubbing when you drag. So you don't have the cues that tell you where will that clip be positioned. You're saying as I drag the clip, it's going to play little bits of audio as I drag it left or right. In that same motion, as I drag it, it's going to play little clips of audio. I don't know, man. I got clarity. There's something I've done before that's worked well for me. I don't want to like explore every possible way of doing it. All right, is this thing ready to go? Okay. Yeah, I've used it. I'm forgetting like the basics of positioning things inside of the canvas and getting them to show up. You're saying attach it to the camera? This keep in mind, this is not game code. This is tool code. So I don't care about performance. Okay, keep in mind, I do not care about performance in this case. I only care about quick code. Okay, but you're telling me stuff, and you're saying it's easier to do. Okay, you're not telling me based on the idea of performance or making game faster or anything like that. Okay, so you're saying attach to the main camera, or anywhere. Just drop it in the scene. Set my camera to be orthographic, and just don't worry about the freaking camera doesn't matter. Okay, you're saying drop it in the scene, and then just plan the UI right in the scene, and at some point I'll set up the camera so it is oriented over it. Okay, yeah, sure, let's try that. Okay, so UI, (3D) object, 3D text test mesh pro. Okay, let's see. Don't go there. Go here, I guess. Or I could just remove the canvas from here, or create a new one of these. Okay, delete that. Okay, new game object. Okay, edit Phonemes screen. And I guess I don't know where this came from. Delete that. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, it won't be too hard to convert over. Just got to remember how to do a few things here. Okay. So, will I be able to see this in the scene view? It's already got sample text. There we go. Yes, okay. let's go ahead and add. Oh, okay. We could jump right to your solution of just managing the caret position ourselves. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, let's call this I mean, I almost kind of like the idea of just doing it myself. I might save time. Zasha, what's going on? I wanted to make sure the text was really self-deprecating, because, you know, otherwise you might expect a lot of it. Z. I'm biting off more than I can chew. That's the thing I like to do. Okay, so is there anything that prevents me from putting like some kind of thing that accepts the focus in here though? Because it's a 3D object in the scene, it doesn't need like the canvas. I honestly wouldn't mind. I could just throw in like a text here, and I could just use a certain. Yeah. So it's one of those deals where like I knew a certain way that I was going to do it, and then okay, if I drop this in here, I'm not sure if it works anymore, because it seems like all these things would need a canvas, right? Maybe I'm wrong about that. And here we've got the 3D object for text. I think that works. But then if we do UI elements, then it seems like it'll end up needing the canvas, or it'll probably add one automatically or something. Let me just see. Let me see what happens if I throw this in. Yeah, it throws in a friggin' canvas. Okay. But you know what? That's like I feel like I could do this without even worrying about traditional input focus. Because I don't know. It's a maze of different Zasha. It's a maze of different benefits and what's the opposite of a benefit? Like you do it one way, it's slightly good for one collection of reasons. A different way, it's arguably good that way too. You can reassign the text mesh pro field in the inspector. I don't know. I'm going to try something I think is kind of simple. It's a little old school. Because I might make Cicada unhappy. No, there is a kind of a thing where, like, whenever I use the canvas, I do end up kind of futzing around with stuff that I don't enjoy much. Just like the layout stuff, I kind of get it, but it never quite works the way I expect it to. It never quite works the way I expect it to. And then I end up tweaking it a lot, and it just seems like, okay, if we lay this out, and we got the camera pointed at it, and it works, good enough. That's all. That's the whole thing. So here's what I'm thinking. All I need to do is just maintain my own variable that says where the cursor position is, and then there can be the phonemes in here, like all that kind of stuff. And for a cursor, I can just use like asterisks. I mean, it's kind of that simple. So I mean, I don't know if it's really going to bother me to have anything that simple. It might be a good test to start out with. Yeah, I like that better, actually. That's a good suggestion. That seems a little more like that, like what we'd want. All right. The other thing I'm pretty sure I want to do, which is maybe off-putting to somebody else that ends up using this, is just make everything run with keyboard commands, because keyboard commands are fast. If you don't end up having to do things that truly need you to switch to mouse input. All right, so something kind of like that. Text can go here. Alright, so this might be like the stupid text. Alright. Phonemes can go underneath. Then there can be other stuff. And we'll start by creating why is this event system? That must be part of the canvas. Let's take that out. Okay. Okay, so then we'll just add a script for this guy. Let's see what I want here. Okay, I want to get the objects for these, the TM Pro objects. Okay. Okay, so I need, what was it? TM Pro, that. Text, TM Pro, phonemes. No. I thought it was gonna look up the using import for me. What was it? Using text mesh pro. No? I got it mixed around. Yeah. There. Makes sense. Okay. Okay, the other thing we'll want is we'll want lots of things, but Phoenix speller. And then stop it. Just for the moment, we'll have the initial text come from a property in the inspector, but eventually I want to import from a like a project file of sorts. Really, I don't know if I would feel that way. I haven't spent too much time watching other programmer streams. It usually makes me feel impatient to like do my own work. I'm not saying you should feel that way. Okay, public string. Let's call it source text. Okay. So then let's get the child objects. I'm going to be annoyed at typing TM Pro all the time, so let's just do TM. Those guys are the worst. They want to write all their own shit, and it's not as good as what was already built, and they're just wasting time. They don't pay attention when people just plot out the whole path for them, all when they could just be taking that good advice. Okay, another piece of advice I didn't take that's biting me in the ass now that you gave me is I decided I would put it all in a different project, so now I'm constantly wanting utility classes from my other project. Okay. So, transform, something like get child by name. That was what my utility class did. All right. Let's that it wouldn't be a bad thing to do to maybe do that, or make a DLL, just have it build as a DLL that gets distributed, but I feel like it might be a little overwrought at this point. Not a bad idea. Okay, new folder. Or actually, I think I already have paste item. Okay. We say extension methods. Well, what was the name of this? Text value, phonemes value. Okay. What is the thing you're complaining about? Oh yeah. Good. Extension methods. I don't really know what extension methods are. If I'm totally honest, I do not know what they are. And this is, well, I get that. But you're ruining your own joke by explaining it. But yeah. Oh, okay. Reminds me of JavaScript hackery. I just this thing I did with a utility class. It's such a common exercise. It makes me feel like there must be something built into Unity that already does it. So I'm even kind of embarrassed to use it because it just feels like it must already be a better name. Transform find. Let me just see if that works. It's like a very early piece of code I wrote when I didn't really understand things. Finds a child by n and returns it. Okay. And I've got like another one that is like a nested version of the same function, but I don't need that for this, so I could probably just do chaining, like transform find and pass into find again. Oh, you can pass it? Okay. That doesn't surprise me at all. Let's do it the non-stupid way then. See if that works. Okay. So then we'll say text tm text equals source text. Okay. Let's say phonemes tm text equals phonetics or speller spell source text. All right, that might be worth just trying out on its own. Okay, I don't know why it's bulking there. Put one here. And now let's build it. Oh, because of all that stuff I brought in, that's why. Yeah, okay. Well, let me think. Is there anything here that I really want? None of this. None of that. Maybe event iterator. Maybe field logger. Maybe. No. 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 That's okay, but it gets a little bit hard to find stuff if you've got, 100 utility methods. Well, it would for me anyways. Well, that build. Alright, I don't think I need this junky thing. Okay. And debug. Alright, so then if I go here, add my component. Oh, that's not what I meant. I'm gonna check that out in a second. I mean, why would I turn down free code ever? Okay, get rid of this up here. See if this works. I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Maybe there's just an exception. No, that ran clean. I thought I had the debugger on. Let's see. It is on. Okay. Try again. so here's that. Okay, cool. That's healthy. All right, so that and that. So that's all good. Does look like there's something wrong with my scene, like I've got the camera in the wrong spot or something. I thought I moved the camera to the right spot, but maybe I did not. Okay, I just have to fix my camera position. Probably that's it. Yeah, okay. So if I move, okay, press F, huh? Thing is, the camera preview is not showing anything. Zaysha, you're crazy. Wait, you just said call me crazy. I didn't read the rest. What the heck? So, is it not rotated the right way? Maybe that's it. Hold Alt and left to orbit F. Alt. Yeah, but it's like I've got the camera, but it's not. Oh, there we go. It's. Oh, I think I know what it is. If I want to use ISO to position where my camera should be instead of perspective. So if I just do this and then I do game object align with view. But Zaysha, what are you talking about? What's the direct approach you're talking about? Oh, you were responding to the code example, perhaps. Wait a minute. Come on. Move to view. Why is this not working? If I say align with view, I mean, it should move the camera to be wherever I'm at. All right, I'll just manually do it. Maybe I need viewport rec stuff. That's fine. So now I'll do something with the cursor. All right, now actually before I do that, let's go look at this code. Okay, let's go to Twitch. Extension methods. I think like for general variable types that are used for a lot of different things, that extension is less intuitive. But if you can apply a method to something like a transform or something more specific, then it makes a little more intuitive sense. It's an interesting approach. This is nice. Come on, you gotta say this is nice. Because it feels like you ought to be able to just do that with floats anyways. I mean, the name of this is just almost, the name of the package implies it's going to be a float. It's all about float, math on floats. So it does feel nice to be able to say ABS, min, max, etc. Same for like vector 3 operations, and just speak of the devil, here they are. You get really used to these things too, and you feel like you need them on any project you start. That's one of the things that's bothered me about moving from one company to another. If you've got like a day job, you can get in trouble with IP stuff. It's like if you write this code for while you're at one company, yeah. I always felt like there ought to be a standard clause or a standard bit of language in employment contracts, which would allow you to bring like a toolbox with you, code that shouldn't be tied to one company. Yeah. The other way to do it is to open source your more general stuff, and then you're essentially granting a license to each company or the world. Yeah. But yeah, every time I start a job at a new company, I read those contracts so closely, and almost all of them, they have some language that a lawyer put together that says, we own everything. And then I have to say, this doesn't make sense to me. Why would you own something that has nothing to do with your business that I did on my own time? And then some of them, they have these things you have to declare in advance, everything that you're bringing to the company that could be considered in creation or innovation. And I've written lengthy things right when I take a job, and then I send it to the recruiting person. She goes, "Oh, we're not used to people actually filling this out." And I say, "Yeah, well, then don't write really oppressive legal language, and then I won't feel compelled to send this to you as I start the company." I usually don't say anything that mean, but that's what I'm thinking. Stupid lawyer magic. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm showing them some level of respect by actually reading their contracts and engaging with them honestly. But I do feel like there ought to be like some standards for legal agreements that are not just based on like companies protecting themselves. They should also be based upon people that work there protecting themselves and just having a nice, clean, description of what each person gets when you get hired instead of having this one-sided nonsense. I've done that before. It's a little bit hard. But I also find that if you raise objections, most companies will revise their contracts for you. Just not many people do it, but it can be done. All right. So we'll say if what is it? Input key down. I always forget. What is it? Get key down. All right, then it's going to be key code. Left arrow. Yeah, let's just do this. That's kind of terrible. Okay, that'll be all right. Okay. Yeah, I could split this out a little better. Delta equals. We'll pass in I like it in order of read only to write. Delta phonemes. Okay. I could see that. Yeah, I don't know. Do you do like the modal thing too, where you just like to stay in shader, or anything that's really hard, or kind of not hard, but like different than the normal mode? Yeah, yeah. that is the other area that I thought I might do at one time. You might not be talking about the same kind of animation, but as far as like editing those animations I have for the character models and like the controllers for them, that I kind of want to do all at one time. I suppose let's just have it return the new cursor position. That'll be better. Because there's a whole bunch of unintuitive stuff, and I always forget little bits of it every time I walk away from it for, you know, some months. Then I come back to it, and then it's like, why do all my animations stop working just because I didn't do something right on this one animation that I created? And what did, you know, it's like stuff like that. Set root position. What? Oh, I gotta do that, or I don't want to do it. Yeah. Animancer. I've not used that. Is that for? I'll Google it in a second. Let's see. So I think also I did this wrong. This should be this one. This is a very side effect-y thing. Okay. Huh. Some parts of the animation editing inside of Unity I like, and others it just makes me angry. Yeah, the state tree stuff is the stuff that makes me angry. If I was starting from scratch, I wouldn't have used the animation controller. I would use the animations, but not the controller. I'm just anything like visual flow and logic and stuff like that, and the visual flow, I just don't trust it anymore. Particularly coming from Unity, they just don't make everything rock solid. They kind of get it 92% there, and then they say, "Oh, new features. Let's add new features," instead of going back and, you know, making it wonderful and rock solid and really nice to use. And one little unintuitive, stupid thing that they didn't fix will kill days for me if I've got bad luck. Yeah, that makes some sense. I haven't done visual programming with shaders, but I've heard the case for it from you, Cicada, and others, and I think it makes some sense. Audio, it's been a long-standing thing. You have like different components. They flow input to output. Yeah. All right. Let me get serious. So we'll say. Let's see. I should just do it like this way. Yeah, there's no clamp on that. Okay. It feels a little bit desperate the way some of their features get released. Like, look, we got it. Start using it. And I'm like, no, just tell me when it's properly ready. I'll still be here. Yeah. What? Yeah, okay. Can I do a static on this? Like static. Okay, cool. That fixes that. Yeah, it's so weird. Why is it doing that? Sometimes it wants to not allow that debug stuff. Let's just build the solution again. Stop and build. Let's even clean it. All right. Now, what? What are you doing? It's so weird. It's like offering to put an extra breakpoint on my breakpoint. I don't understand that. That feels buggy. Well, let's see what happens when I run it. I think I have a breakpoint in this line, but I had to make like a backup breakpoint because the first one wouldn't work. That's my recommendation. Always do at least 2 breakpoints on a line that you want to break on, just to make sure you get it. There we go. I must have screwed up there. Okay. So pause was at 0. I'd go from 0 to 0. Pause was at 1. Okay, go from 0 to 0. Okay, I think that's right. I'll try it again. But I could just do this also. Or that should do it. Alright, that's not great. But it's sort of in the right direction. Okay. Alright. So replace, just remove the cursor car. That seems to work. It's this one that's wrong. Let's just think of a few cases. So that's 0. Substring 0, length 0, empty, plus the cursor character. Pause plus 1, so this should dump everything after. So that should start at 1. But actually that's wrong. Should just go like that. Okay, so that'll be empty string plus the character plus ABC. Alright, then let's look at 7. 7 equals 0 to length 7, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they've got product managers that are more oriented towards getting shiny, flashy features out. Maybe it's also not that well organized in a holistic way from the top. Maybe it's just like you have a whole bunch of teams and they're all doing different shit. Yeah. If I was starting over, I might just go handmade. Just find some good libraries, not a framework, just some good libraries. But then eventually there'd be some stuff that would take me a long time, I'm sure. Yeah, I think that's right. I think I get it. Yeah. I could use rich text too to give it a different color. Okay. I don't actually need to have the cursor go past that, so that's fine. Auto size. That's the one. And phonemes, I should let it grow a little bit. Let's see. Do I need to enable rich text on this? That's already enabled. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to remember what the commands were. So I think there's text mesh pro, rich text. Okay, color equals, just do yellow. I'm laughing at what you're saying. Yeah, about once a week somebody says, switch to a different pipeline. And I go, okay, why? Why? I've not even seen like a proper explanation of all the pipelines and why you might want to be in one or the other. I understand there's some heuristics to it where you might pick one or another, but it's just like it's confusing to me. All right, so that works. I also need to do deletion and insertion. That's the way I should have written this. Okay. cursor pause. Space. In fact, I could probably just get away with not removing the cursor because I'm just gonna, let's see. All right, okay, if I've got, and my cursor pause is at 0, then space inserts it. No, you do want to remove it. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so if I'm at 0, insert a space, then add the cursor back at 0, comes in there. Makes sense. Okay. I also want to stop this from happening if I'm right in the middle of a phoneme. I'll leave that for later. To do protect against splitting phoneme cars. Okay. Then delete space. Hit delete, you're expecting actually to back up from the beginning, so it should be cursor pause. No, it's 0 to cursor pause -1. What's that? Okay. And then have to shrink cursor pause. Okay, add the cursor back to the text. All right. It's stuff like that why I have zero interest in releasing stuff on the asset store. Mystery spinner. Why are you spinning? It didn't ask for anything hard. Gonna crash on me? Probably gonna crash. Probably gonna crash. Rider. No, okay, you're recovered. That's good. That's good. So I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern here. Beginning of all these modifications, I remove the cursor from the text. I do something that changes it, then I put the cursor back in. Would probably make sense for me to refactor that a bit. Let's see, I want this here. Must be something about insert I'm not understanding correctly. You know, if you think about it, that might be one of the reasons why Unity is releasing so many features so fast when they should just kind of tighten up what they've got and get basic things to work. Is they've got things like Godot, and they need to say, look, we're the future, we're out really far here, and we got all this impressive shit. Because if they just sort of had a do the basics approach, then it might not survive in the marketplace. I mean, maybe the dummies are people like me that are like, ooh, Unity, they've got their act together. Let's go get an engine. That's going to help me. They seem like a very impressive company. And then a year or two later, I'm like, I wish I just wrote this myself. This thing that they did for me, which is causing me more trouble to work around its problems than if I'd just written it myself. That's when I started my project. Okay, let's see. What? Okay, let's stop that. Maybe I just need to return the string. Okay, that's all it is. Okay. Okay, so we do that. I was thinking for my upgrade strategy, I might wait until they have a 2020 LTS and then switch over to the 2020 LTS. I mean, I don't know that they'll have a 2020 LTS, but yeah, I just don't want to be on the bleeding edge ever. Oh, let me just see. Installs. I should check this every once in a while. Okay, so they don't have 2020 LTS yet, but they probably will. And that's when I'll switch over, I think. So here I also have to return that. Okay, got it. Let's do this. I'm doing like, I'm getting back to basics. I'm writing a text input. I've got my reasons, but they take a while to explain. It's part of a tool that authors face animation. What's going on with you? Let's see. That's cool. What'd you do in your month break? I always sound like I expect you to have done something special, maybe, but I don't mean it that way. You could have like kicked back on your couch, smoked weed, and played video games. It's all good. If you got the itch, you got the itch. Let's see, we'll do the string. Phonemes text. Let me think about it. Let's just do like start, update, start, Phonemes, update, finish, Phonemes, update. Let's see. Cursor Phonemes. What else do I need to pass in? The updated text. Phonemes text. Okay. Well, I took, I paused on creating any levels because I figured those remaining 5 levels or so, I'll get an inspiration at certain moments. I'll say like, I really got to do this kind of level, but unless I get that kind of inspiration, I'm not going to add any more levels. The other thing that'll happen when I run another round of playtesters through is somebody is going to get confused about a game element, how it works, and I'll find I'll need to insert an earlier level that'll explain that game element better. Like those two things, almost certain they'll pop up in my head and be the trigger to create one of the 5 or so remaining levels. But yeah, you're getting back in the groove of game dev. I always like your stuff, man. It's fun to watch. I've gone back and checked your channel a few times just in case you had an update. So yeah, I'm glad to hear you're still interested in doing it. Let's see. So ref on that. Ref on that. Ref on that. Okay. Alright, this is a much cleaner design than what I had before. We'll start the update, and in this one we will yeah, I understand. I don't get many people to check mine either, if it makes you feel any better. I do it for ritualistic reasons. There are a handful of people that check them out, but I'm not kidding myself as far as like, ooh, I'm building an audience. Nah. Sometimes, though, I do enjoy going back and looking at something I did a long while ago, or sometimes there's information in one of the old streams. I'll just go back and get it. It's like a different sort of backup. Let's see. Start Phonemes update. All right, so here we say just return Phonemes TM text, but it's going to be remove cursor from text. Okay. What? What do you need? All right, let's just change this. Put it back how it was. And actually, I might as well just stick this down beneath. It's not really useful to have it separated out. Okay, so put this down beneath. That one, okay. Okay, and this one. this one is going to be insert. Add cursor pause. And cursor car. Stop it. Alright, I know what you're talking about. That shit's weird. I mean, it's good, but we're talking about porn. I'm assuming porn. If not, I'll. No, you're talking about porn. I've done VR porn too. No. Gonna leave me out there on my own, huh? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But it's like, it's really ridiculous. All right. I'm sorry. I'm obviously you were talking about something else. I do think VR porn needs better actors, because you start really paying attention to the actor, to the acting, when it feels like they're right there next to you. Like, unlike regular porn, a bad VR porn actor just ruins the whole thing. At least that's my opinion. Okay, let's see. There. Yeah, actually, when I was in Japan, I kind of noticed that too. As far as like Japanese porn, uh, yeah, the production values are good, but it's like they have to be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get myself in trouble at some point. Some relative of mine will watch my stream, and I'll be like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, insert space, delete space. So I don't need this anymore. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Why they have to be better in other areas, because they censor all this stuff. Also, I think the censoring makes their porn weird. They go find like the strangest fetishes because they don't show normal porn. So there'll be, you mentioned boogers, but there is like a whole bunch of porn just like about noses and stuff. In Japan. In Japan in particular, they get into the weird shit. Yeah, I went into, I mean, it was like 10 years ago or something like that. So they had like these kind of like porn video stores where you go and you pick out the stuff you want to watch, and then you go get a little closet room and you watch it in there. And I did for 3 months. And at the place where you go and you ask for the videos, they have this ceiling to mid-level barrier so you can't see anybody. There's just a little slot on the bottom. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I was in Yokohama, and then also other parts of Tokyo, but I didn't understand something about like the machine that gave tokens out when you put your money in, and I had to get the cashier to explain it to me, and he like came out of like this sort of cashier area, this little fortress with the wall thing up in front of the face, and he was so embarrassed, and he was so he was like a little squirrel running out to grab a nut and run away. You know, he's like, he had to come out to help me. He hated it. And then he ran back into his little cage. Yeah. Sketchy. I don't know what you mean by sketchy though, with all the rules and laws. But yeah, everyone in that porn shop was just terrified of being noticed. I don't think I would want to break laws in Japan. I'll say that. They seem quite law and order oriented. No, I'm just like, it's fine. It's a porn shop. We're all thinking about sex in here and, you know, getting off, and it's no big deal. But Cicada, which part of Japan were you in? Yeah. Uh, I remember with Tokyo, it was like I kept on seeing some place that impressed me, and I go, "Wow, this is like the biggest, most built-up city area I've ever seen before." And then I'd go to like even a different place, and it would be like, "Oh, whoa, no, this is the biggest place." I remember Shinjuku. that was kind of like one of those places where I got off the underground and said, holy fuck. And then I go to Shibuya. It has like this intersection, which is, I mean, it's the largest intersection I've seen in the world. And then in Yokohama, yeah. And then I think, Davey, you were telling me about, I think you turned me on to this one Netflix show. I've only watched the first episode, but I did like it. It was set in Japan, and there's like this kind of contrived game that they have to win. Yeah, Into the Borderlands. So at the very beginning, in the first episode, I was blown away because they had a completely empty Shibuya intersection. That is the busiest, largest intersection I've ever seen. Yeah, Alice in the Borderlands. It was completely empty in that movie. I'm like, what? CGI? What? How? They got the city to clear it out? No, they had like an extra set of just that intersection, which is probably the most practical way that they could have done that. But it was just so strange to see that massive intersection empty. Is it? Oh, okay. To me, I thought it was kind of like one of those places it might be impossible for it to ever be empty. But also there's that thing like people tend to go home when the train shut down. So like in that time between the last train and the first train, it can get pretty empty. I've been caught out after the trains stopped running and didn't have money for a taxi, and then I would just go to like one of those like manga cafe type things and sleep there. And it was a strange thing because like a whole bunch of people were all doing the same thing. I was like, oh, this is a thing. You just go in, you get your little chair in the hot summer, and hopefully you get like a nice fan blowing on you. Fall asleep in your clothes if you can. Wait for the first train to start up. Yeah. I kind of wish we had that in Seattle, just like some little place you can crash that probably doesn't work because it would be filled up with homeless people. And in Japan, I'm sure they exist, but I didn't see any homeless people. Isn't that weird? Like I know there must have been some homeless people somewhere in Tokyo. Is it? Okay. I didn't see him. I did not see one that I can remember. I didn't even see a panhandler. Which makes me think, not that they don't exist, but it makes me think that the law and order must crack down on them. Like the police must hassle them or something. Like, move along. Okay. Alright, Hikikomori. We'd have to look that up. Let's see. Also, I think I should really... Oh yeah, like the otaku thing. I feel like I should really install the Chrome thing that will make it all dark by default. It's really glaring when I switch between this dark screen off to the giant white one. Yeah, I think everyone's a hikikomori right now. Or hikikomori. Yeah. Alright, let me finish this thing. I don't have much. I've been kind of dawdling with it. ref phonemes text cursor pos. That's all you need. But let's move this around. Put cursor pos over here. Put this guy here. Where you live? If you do not mind my asking. Oh, another Canadian. Davy's Canadian. Victoria been a few times, you know, just doing the tourist thing. I like Victoria a lot. I like Vancouver, BC, though, a huge amount. Yeah, maybe I should just go live in Canada. I'm sure I'd get along with Canadians. Cursor pos, ref, phonemes text. Okay, that'll be it. Okay, phonemes text. Just insert the space there. Don't need any of this other stuff. Just leave that out. Okay. Don't need this anymore. Don't need this or this. Forget about this Boolean stuff. Yeah, but I don't know. You guys are gonna lose on the exporting to the U.S. now. We got our own domestic supply. Let's do that. That's like a lot of changes to basically get me back to my status quo. But yeah, update phonemes cursor. I don't think this is called anymore. Delete that. Yeah, just let's keep this simple. Less coronavirus. I don't know exactly what claim you're making. I don't feel like I'm a great defender of Pacific Northwest cannabis or Seattle cannabis. Actually, I think as far as weed goes, people make too big a deal about like what different strains have. Especially if you ever go into a store and listen to someone explain it, it gets ridiculous. Don't need this one anymore. Alright, let me focus a little bit. Let's get this going. It's not that hard. I've spent too long on it already. Okay, that works pretty well. There's a little glitch at the end where it's just doing this toggle between the 2 points, and I don't want that. I can fix that though. That's pretty easy. Let's see how delete works. Not working yet. Okay. Insert works. Okay. Let's fix a few things. That probably fixes that. Delete space. All right. So if we've got B-A-O-G, my cursor's at 1. And this should equal space. And this will be 0. Okay, this is an off by 1 error here. If my cursor's at 1, then I should still have that there. No, wait a minute. If your cursor's at 1, then you would be deleting D. Okay, so that's not off by 1. So I would be saying go from 0 to 0, meaning empty string, and then this guy would be at 1, continue at 1. So that should delete D and give me the rest there. Okay. So it looks like the code's correct, but I know it's not. Let's just step through. Yeah, it takes some explanation. Not that I'm willing to explain it, but I'm just warning you now. I'm warning you now. I will explain it to you. Let me get this one bug fixed, and then I'll try to give a proper explanation. I might be able to find the friggin' video and get that to play, and that would be a more elegant way to explain it. Okay, so my want is to delete the D. Come on, are you not even... No, it's already there. Oh, is delete space not being called? Oh, that could be. All right, let's see if it gets down to here. No, okay. Okay, it's not detecting the command in the first place. Okay, so this must be the wrong key code. What's the key code for the delete key? Not the delete key. I could try backspace. Maybe delete key means the numpad. All right, Davey. Enjoy the movie. Keep your brain weird and keep it active. Make some creative stuff one of these days. I want to see it. Crazy nonsense game with horror and strangeness in it. so what are you complaining about? Reference script. Boom. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna work. Cool. All right. What's this though? Why can I not? I can delete there, but not there. Huh. Okay, I feel like that should delete, and it will not. So let's check why. Oh. This check is kind of weird. It hasn't been doing anything to prevent deleting things besides space. So it's actually, it makes sense that this would return. It doesn't make sense that it didn't protect from deletion earlier. I just deleted all those letters and it didn't actually protect those from being deleted. So let me try this again. Okay, so I'm on D, which is not a space. That should not be deleted when I come through here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that part's good. I think I just need to check a different character. So if I go here, that's working, but I need to check the character preceding my position instead of where I'm where the position is when I hit delete. So let's put this here to avoid going out of bounds. Okay. So even though it's reinventing the wheel, I am kind of glad that I just rolled my own text editor, because there's some stuff I want to put in here to protect certain operations from working. So if I come over here and hit delete, don't want it to work. Bam, bam. maybe I want the cursor to go to the right when I hit the space. I do. Okay. So let's make this ref. And these guys, when I add a little more logic to them, they'll skip over the phoneme, so the cursor will never be inside of a phoneme. So this is the kind of thing that over many thousands of runs will be able to make it so that it's kind of foolproof and doesn't introduce errors. Okay, but I think I got a basic text entry thing here. Pretty confident about playing back the audio clips inside of it. I've written code like that elsewhere inside of Unity. So this isn't bad. I think I might stop right around here just because I like to stop after I finish something and got it working. Okay. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. So I can have, I do left and right, I can have them kind of skip over these characters so you don't really ever type inside of it. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop here. Start the TV watching part of my Friday night. Am I going to make dinner? Am I going to order dinner? I don't know. It's going to be a little party though, me and my wife. And I don't know, Cicada, if you're still on. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Anybody else who might still be on, I will catch you later. Thanks for joining. Oh, stopping the stream now.